How do you make friends? You've left everybody behind in your life, and it's very difficult humans are social creatures. We need people around us. Even the staunchest introvert needs people. We all need somebody. So how do you make friends? How do you start? How do you go out into this wide world around us, maybe not knowing anybody, or maybe you feel like you don't know anybody? What are some tips that you can use to start making friends? So let's talk about that. When my wife and I left, our first friends were our cleaning clients. We used to clean houses together. And so these people we had gotten to know over the years, and we were very honest with them about what we were going through when we were leaving Jehovah's Witnesses. And so that gave a lot of depth to some of those relationships. So for us, a lot of our first friends were the people that we had worked for years. And in fact, we still go to holidays with these people. We go to their house for Christmas or New Year's or Thanksgiving, Halloween. We celebrate these holidays with them because they wanted to include us. And I mean, what a beautiful thing, right? I mean, we were told that these people in the world were going to be terrible people. And, much like in a domestic abuse situation where an abusive husband or wife might say, no one will ever love you like I do. And we were made to feel that way. We were made to feel like if we left, no one would ever care about us. And that's simply not true. So we've experienced it in that way. We've experienced it in other ways as well. So how can you find some of that? Look at your life. Who are you around now? That's where you start. Who are the people that you work with? Who are the people that maybe you're in college or something? Who are the people you go to school with? Maybe you go to a gym. Who do you go to the gym with? There are people around you. And so it's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to have to strike up conversations. But for the most part, you're going to find that people are accepting. And if you want to have a relationship with them, I highly encourage you, because you will be socially awkward on some level when you go into these situations. You don't know what you don't know. And you probably have a good idea of a lot of things you don't know as well. So when you go into these situations, what we found helpful, whether it was with our clients that became friends, or we ended up branching off and gaining new friendships through people we met through them. Tell people your story. I can't emphasize that enough. I know people often leave and feel a lot of shame, and we're talking about that shame in other videos. But if you want to build depth in any kind of relationship, the way to do that is to be vulnerable. Now, you can get to a point of oversharing, but the honest truth is the stories that most of us have are fascinating to people. People are interested, and they show a lot about you. Vulnerability breeds vulnerability. If you show me yours and I'll show you mine. If you show me your story, I'll show you mine. And when we're both open and having that exchange of personal story, it creates intimacy, which is the foundation of any relationship. And you can create that quite quickly with people just by being open, being yourself. And the way I like to do it is so we went to a cocktail party, okay? I don't even drink. That's just because alcoholism runs in my family, not some weird J-Dub thing. But we went to a cocktail party. I don't drink. I didn't know anyone there other than the host, who I barely knew. We cleaned for her mom. We went into this strange house. Now, some of these situations do take some courage. You're going to have to be willing to push past your preconceived limits. They're not your limits. They're the walls you set up, or your comfort zone. But what you want in life almost always lies just outside your comfort zone. Otherwise, you'd already have it. And that's why you're comfortable with it. So in order to go get this, we went to a cocktail party. And I remember standing there talking to, looking around at these people. and realizing I don't fit in here. So I just owned that. And I went up to people and I said, look, I don't know anybody here. I was invited to this party. I don't know anyone. I barely know the host. I just recently left a cult. I was raised one of Jehovah's Witnesses, and it's all I ever knew. And so I left it, and I'm out here in the world now, meeting new people, making new friends. I'm shunned by everyone I ever knew, and so this is all a new experience to me. And so I kind of feel awkward. Just as you're saying that, you're going to see people start to light up. Chances are, even if these people know each other, somebody there feels awkward. And if nothing else, they're going to feel awkward because you're new. So there's a shared awkwardness there. There really is. And just by talking to people, starting to open up about your story a little bit, people will start asking you questions, and boom, instant conversation. Instant conversation. Now, occasionally you're going to run into somebody who isn't receptive to that story. I will say, though, 99% of the people that I've met, when I'm just open with them and just explain, hey, I feel awkward here, I feel out of place, I feel weird, this is kind of where I came from, and I'm trying to work my way into this world and meet people. Most people are going to be receptive to that. There are some people, if you start talking about religion on any level, they're just going to get weirded out. And sometimes that's because they have their own stuff about it. And that's okay. That's okay. In the end, making friends is like marketing. The people that you market to who don't like your product, that's okay. That's not your target audience. Go find your target audience. Go find the people that want what you have. And most people will see you and say, hey, here's somebody here who has a really interesting story. What's this cult and Jehovah's Witnesses? I've heard of them. I thought they were just these nice people that came to my door and were well dressed. And suddenly you're going to have an opportunity to talk to people. And they're going to see things about you as a person, being brave enough, honestly, just to even broach the topic. You're going to get respect just for that. So in most cases, and if you don't, and it's awkward, so what? It was awkward already. Move on. Go find somebody else to talk to. Also, a great thing to do at any kind of party where you don't know a lot of people, ask them how they know the host. Great conversation starter. How do you know the host? Oh, we work together. Oh, really? Where do you work? Or maybe from knowing those, but whatever. It's ask questions. Questions are also a great way to start making friends. When you ask other people about them and give them a chance and draw them out and let them talk about themselves, they're going to feel more comfortable with you. And the pressure's off you. You're asking them questions. They're the ones who have to talk. So if you're really, really shy or really awkward, that's another good way to start conversations with people. Because that's all this is. Making friends is having conversations and then seeing where those conversations lead. And then when it comes to finding friends again, it's just going to be, who are you around? Start there. And if you're not around people, look online. For some of you, it may be comfortable to find, maybe there's an ex-Jehovah's Witness meetup locally. Great. Go to meetup.com, look there. Or hopefully on this site by now I have a directory of those because I'm trying to build those. So maybe you start there. Or maybe there are some people that you used to have in your life that you had to shun at some point. Find those people on Facebook, former friends, former people that you knew, and reach out and say, oh my gosh, I just realized what I was in. I'm out now. How are you doing? See how they're doing. Ask them about them. Let them start talking. Again, it's not always comfortable at first, but these are the different places you can go to start developing some relationships. And then it's like anything. You make a friend here with this person. Well, this person, chances are, knows at least a couple more people. And at some point when doing something with this person, you're going to meet one of these other people. And when you do, don't just focus on the person that you know. Start asking questions of or telling your story to the other people who are around. And you'll find that things start to branch out over time. And I can't tell you again, I just want to emphasize, be willing to be vulnerable, be willing to tell your story. That's going to be huge if you want to make a relationship. If you're hiding something about yourself, something huge, especially like your entire past, which could be decades depending on what age you get out at. If you're hiding all this and keeping it close to the vest, well, how are you going to expect anybody else to open up to you? You can't expect of somebody else what you're not willing to give. So if you want to be seen, you're going to have to put yourself out there. And again, try it a few times. You can rework your pitch if you have to, going back to the marketing analogy. And it's a numbers game, like marketing. You meet more people, more chances at making friends. So again, this is a great way to start. And just don't be ashamed of who you are, where you came from. Again, we'll talk about that on other videos, but you have something unique to give to the world. You have a unique experience. You have unique lessons learned through that experience. And other people are going to be interested in that. They really are. And that is part of you. You may not always like it, but that is part of you. That past is part of you. And it informs who you are. So just be informative about it. This is who I am, and this is how I got here. And people will understand that, especially if you come across as a humble person who's just out, very sincere, just wants to meet new people and make a new life. They'll appreciate that, and they'll respect you for it.